First of all, let me introduce myself so that if I'm speaking on this issue of issue to do with Mosogar, then you know you're actually getting information from a very reliable personality in the community. I am Dr. Odafia Wilson Omene, and I'm a very senior chief in Mosogar Kingdom, of course I am supposed to be number 8 now in line of authority, if I'm not mistaken, in line of authority in the community. When you talk about the hierarchy of the chiefs in the ruling Ogbodio house. Coming to the issue of Ovie-Elect, I think we will not sit here and allow such kangaroo arrangement of installing a king. There are procedures that are laid down in our customary declaration, you know, and we need to follow that procedure, you know, and anything outside that procedure makes whatever that you do null and void. And we very strongly, we don't have any Ovie-Elect yet, because nobody that has been involved in that process ever followed due process, you know, laid down very clearly in the customary declaration. One, they said, yes, the customary declaration gave power to the Ovie Council to follow a procedure that will lead to the installation of a new king, a new Ovie-Elect, in the demise of a king. And since our king had passed on and been buried, ordinarily, we should have had an Ovie-Elect, Ovie in council. But sadly, there had not been any Ovie in council in place. So without an Ovie in council in place, the same customary declaration recognizes another body called Ogbodio that is expected to rule pari passu with the Ovie in council. That means independent of the Ovie in council, that body has those powers to equally install a king. In the absence of an Ovie in council, like what you probably will refer to as principles of necessity, you know. Now, what happened? Why was there no Ovie in council? Of course, certain people were chosen to form the Ovie in council, which the king ought to have inaugurated and used to govern the community, you know, pari passu with the members of the Ogbodio. Of course, all members of the Ovie in council are expected to be members of the Ogbodio, but not all members of Ogbodio are expected to be members of the Ovie in council. The Ovie in council is the sole prerogative both in inauguration and operation of the king. No other person has the authority to what? Act as Ovie in the absence of an Ovie in the Ovie in council. When a king dies, the Ovie in council ordinarily is supposed to be dissolved. But our own customary declaration says it should go on in the processes of selecting a new king. But what is on ground is that the last king and the first king ever did not inaugurate that body. So as there was no formal inauguration of that body, He preferred to deal directly with all the chiefs. That was his style. And he dealt with all the chiefs in the Ogwedio directly, ignoring that provision of establishing an Ovie in council proper. And if there is an absence of that, and the law says these are the people when you die should take care of it, and that does not exist, and there's no provision in the customary declaration that says an otota of the kingdom can create an Ovie in council when you are not the king. It's not written. It's not there. That provision is not there. And we cannot use doctrine of necessity for somebody to create an illegal Ovie in council. They nominated my name and few others. I said to them, I can't be party to an illegality. No. I cannot be party to an illegality. As far as I'm concerned, we do not have Ovie in council. But we have the next in authority, the Ogwedio. So doctrine of necessity can only apply to the Ogwedio to take charge of the administration of the kingdom, pending when any new Ovie will come in and will point it out to that new Ovie that, look, we cannot go through this doctrine of necessity again. Let us have your Ovie in council in place. So the sole responsibility of coming up with a new Ovie-Elect is vested with the powers that was vested in the shoulders of the Ogwedio, led by the goal of this kingdom. So you cannot just wake up from your dreams and say, oh, we now have an Ovie-Elect conducted by Chivigo Uta Amori, here to the Mosogar Kingdom. Fine. Having said that, what are the procedures? The procedure, very simple. There will be a selection committee that was supposed to be put in place by the Ovie in council. And since there's an absence of Ovie in council, then that selection committee should be put in place by the Ogwedio. 2, after the selection has been made by that committee, then it will be referred to whoever, and many of them, maybe 3, 4, 5, have been screened, selected. They pass them on to another body called screening committee. And specifically, that's why I said doctrine of necessity should have vested the rest of the powers on Ogwedio. That screening committee is now expected to be headed automatically. It is not by appointment. It should be headed by the Ugo of this kingdom and supported as a vice chairman by the Nuevo of this kingdom. They are to run the screening committee with 5 other members. As I speak to you, no screening committee. He just went straight on the social media, straight on the public space, and said clearly that, look, we now have a new Ovie-Elect. All reign one Mr. Sonny Okpure, who used to be a retired Assistant Comptroller General of Customs. Fine, I am not against the candidature of anyone, so long as you are qualified. But I'm against the procedure of anyone that will come out as Ovie-Elect that does not follow the legal method of emanating as an Ovie-Elect. As far as I'm concerned, legally, they have not even started the process of Ovie-Elect, because that process is supposed to be started and completed by the Ogwedio and Ogwedio alone, in the absence of an Ovie in council. Whatever that they have done or they claim to have done is nonsense. It makes mockery of civilization. And that's exactly what we feel we will not allow to be part of our history. We come from a modern environment called Mosogar, and so we cannot afford to be involved at this time of our life in shameless illegalities or lawlessness. No.